Let me touch base with Lakshmi Iyer, CIO Fixed Income and Head Products of Kotak Mutual Fund, coming in as a quick reaction. New boss at Mint Street. Lakshmi, do you think that the new appointment will offer the kind of calm that the markets were seeking yesterday, especially the currency markets?
Yeah, hi, morning. I think it should at least try to stabilize the market, which had, displayed some sort of a knee-jerk reaction yesterday. While yesterday also was on anticipated lines, my sense is this should definitely bring in a little bit of, soothing news both to the bond markets and maybe to a lesser extent to the currency markets, but certainly there is hope of stability.
Okay. Lakshmi, what would you expect in terms of what Mr. Shaktikanta Das could bring on the table in the near term, in the medium term, in the run-up to the general elections that can help, improve the botched image that the world now has with regards to the relationship between the central bank and the central bank and the central government?
Yeah, I think there were a couple of things which the markets were keenly looking at, and specifically investors, and I would say the foreign investors were looking at, is that what kind of communication is forthcoming from the central banker. So I think markets will be, or market participants will be waiting and watching for how much and how adept would be the guidance coming in from the central bank, number one. And number two is, of course, how the government and the central banking work together towards an initiative which is not really, considered being hand in glove with the government, but certainly maintaining its independence and alongside trying to create continuity in the current measures. I think these are the combination of two things which the markets will be keenly looking forward to, and I think there is clearly hope on those fronts.
Okay, Lakshmi, just want to understand. There are a couple of factors that, a lot of people on the street who are monitoring not just Mint Street but the Lal Street as well are talking about. Now, there are a lot of OMOs expected in the Jan to March period. What is your expectation with regard to that? Does that remain intact? Do you also see abundance of OMOs in that period? And also talking about the India risk premium also, what is your perspective given the kind of changes that we've seen on the political, on the macro, and therefore consequently on the micro front?
Firstly, on the OMOs, we were guided even in the recent monetary policy post decision that for liquidity, it is important that open market bond purchases continue. And looking at the liquidity scenario at the current juncture, we clearly believe that there is a case for continuing these OMO bond purchases well into the coming quarter, which is for the month of Jan, Feb and March. It may not be abundant, but I think it is certainly needed to be adequate. On the second count, I think from an India story perspective, I think let's not forget that we still offer one of the highest real rates in the world. And given that we have a favorable macro, which is acting as a strong tailwind for us, markets would be willing to ignore the momentary disruptions. And the sooner you are able to weed out these anomalies and make amends, I think that's what the markets will clearly reward. And we have adequately seen that in the bond market opening, where the markets seem to have given a thumbs up to this decision.
All right, Lakshmi, we'll leave it at that. Thanks much for coming on board and giving us your perspective on what you think will be the move for the money markets going forward, at least in the medium term.